I want to welcome everyone here and say good evening to you. Many elected officials, Assemblyman Jack McEnany, Kathy Sheehan, Lee Engstrom, obviously all the members of the council. If I'm missing anybody, I'll get to you probably. But, I really want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I want to thank the members of the council once again for being here and being part of a great city and a great team. And I want to strengthen this team, and you'll hear that in my remarks tonight. I want to thank my beautiful wife, Mary Ann, for being here with me. She knows what it's like to be in my shoes, basically, and she's been so supportive of everything I've been doing for 18 plus years, and thank you, Mary Ann. My son, Gerald, who I'm very proud of, a lot of you know him and like him a lot more than you do me, so I understand that. Thanks to Gerald for being here. But once again, welcome to the report on the state of our great city. It has always struck me that the state of the city message mandated by charter is somehow a little less anticipated and certainly far less anxiety-producing than our annual budget message. A time when everyone wants to know, are my taxes going up? Is my job being cut? Or is my favorite program being eliminated? The state of the city message, however, tends to be largely more prosaic, both because it is broader in its scope and certainly in its purpose. Its aim is twofold: to reflect on our accomplishments during the past year and to start a course for the year ahead and beyond, and also to say thank you to all of you that are involved in my administration and work with me. As such, this is my opportunity to reflect on our accomplishments during the past year, to share with you an assessment of how well we are doing, and to articulate, if you will, a vision for our future. Over the past several years, and last year in particular, we have faced, as you well know, challenging financial times, but despite the challenges, we have continued to pursue critical economic development and public safety initiatives that I believe have enhanced the quality of life in our city and have set the stage for even greater accomplishments to come. Tonight, you will hear a report on those initiatives and on the impressive programs we have achieved in the areas of economic development, neighborhood revitalization, and in public safety. And you will hear about exciting new initiatives that will continue to move our city forward in the days, months, and even years ahead. So I'll keep you in suspense no longer. Tonight, I'm very pleased to say that despite the financial challenges facing our nation and our state, and the strain these challenges continue to place on our city, I believe the state of our city is strong and our future has never looked brighter. We have much to be proud of. We have a unique and compelling story to tell. And I ask you to share the positive when you are talking about our great city. It's very, very important that we're all on the same page and people hear what is really going on in the city that we're very proud of. But the story must begin with public safety. Government has no greater purpose than to ensure the safety and security of its citizenry. Approximately 2 years ago, the city's police department began a fundamental change in the method in which police services are delivered in the city. Careful evaluation and consultation with community members led to the creation in 2011 of the Neighborhood Engagement Unit, a move that marked the department's commitment to a proactive program, solving approach to crime that is based on strategic community partnerships. I mean strategic community partnerships. Through hard work and to the commitment of every member of the department to this community policing philosophy, I am proud to say that we have a significantly more efficient and effective police department, and consequently we do have a safer city as well. In fact, I don't think it's at all an exaggeration to state that our department is one of the finest, if not the finest, in the nation. The evidence is clear. The evidence is clear. We have a department that is highly trained, highly skilled, highly educated, highly dedicated, highly motivated, and highly committed to excellence in their service to the community. And look at the results for 2011. Significant crimes, or so-called Part 1 crimes, continue to decrease in almost every category, continuing a 6-year trend in our city. And we lose sight of that sometimes, but it is there, and it's documented. As importantly, the department's closer working relationship with the community has fostered an enhanced feeling of security and confidence. Confidence that the department is on the cutting edge in the use of training and technology in crime solving. Confidence that it is a department focused on fostering a better working relationship with the community. And confidence that the department is highly effective in the overall mission of making our community safer. In that regard, the city was successful in its application for a federal grant to increase the authorized strength of our department from 326 officers officers to 342. Just last week, I had the great honor of swearing in these new officers, and tonight I want to again congratulate them and wish them all in the service to our community. And these officers will enable us to strengthen our commitment to community policing. There's no doubt about that. I also want to thank all the members of our community who have invested their time and effort in making our community policing initiatives a success, and ask that we continue to work together to foster positive relations between our department and all citizens. The Reverend Smart is here, and I know that he has worked very hard with us, they're very close to us, with White, people that have stepped up, and many of you that are here in the audience, so I thank you all. I especially want to thank our Chief, Chief Krokoff, his command staff, and the men and women of the Albany Police Department for the outstanding work they do in often very difficult and very dangerous situations. Please know our city appreciates all that you do to make us better and safer. Thank you. We are equally proud of the difficult work done every day by the men and women of our city's Fire and Emergency Services Department. Rated yearly as one of the busiest fire departments in the nation, Chief Ferrezzi and his staff can boast of exemplary response times for emergency calls and for having saved the lives of so many of our citizens. Training, training, and more training are hallmarks not only of the police department, but of our fire department as well. Our firefighters must be and are prepared to handle complex hazmat incidents, major fire calls, and thousands of emergency medical responses necessary in an urban center that includes an industrial port, a warehouse district, an internationally renowned nanotechnology site, major medical centers, high-rise office complexes, interstate highways, and ancient streets designed more for horse and wagons than modern-day fire trucks. But our men and women firefighters do their job as well as or better than firefighters anywhere in the nation. And in addition, they also handle fire investigations and building inspections. They do all of these tasks with excellence and in great service to protect the people of our city. And for that, our city is most grateful. I want to thank Chief Ferrezzi and his command staff and all the firefighters of our department. Thank you for your commitment. This building's on fire, this is hot. During 2011, the Department's Division of Buildings and Codes underwent a change in both leadership and in focus. Under its new director, Jeff Jameson, we have significantly increased our efforts at code compliance and our efforts to hold negligent property owners accountable. By working closely with the fire department and other involved city agencies on our highly successful block-by-block initiative, the division has clearly made a difference in improving the quality of life in our city's many and diverse neighborhoods. Key to our code enforcement initiative to our block-by-block program will be the creation of a comprehensive data system that will allow departments and residents alike to share information critical to developing comprehensive and immediate responses to problem housing situations. In a moment, I'll discuss more on our efforts with regards to the development of such a data system, but already Director Jameson and staff have changed the culture of the department. They recognize that what they do is as important as any to the public safety and to the quality of life of our city. Their efforts are making our neighborhoods safer, and the city thanks them and the Corporation Counsel's Office for it. Thank you, guys. During 2011, I directed our city's law department to work closely in the code enforcement effort, and as a result, the law department on a weekly basis now prosecutes the city codes for quality of life offenses such as littering and open container law violations. And this initiative, as well as the department's vigorous pursuit of negligent property owners in vacant buildings court, has been an integral part of the success of our block-by-block initiative. The department faces on a daily basis many sensitive and complex legal issues, and their professionalism is always guided by what is ultimately in the best interest of the people of Albany, and we are most grateful for their counsel. Thank John Riley and his staff for their great work. Perhaps no department, however, has been more instrumental to the success of block by block and to the overall quality of life of our city than our Department of General Services. With a portfolio of responsibilities that range from street buildings and parks maintenance to engineering services, landfill operations and special events, Commissioner Nick D'Antonio and the hardworking men and women of the department are on the front line every day. In the past year, the department completed both Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the Pine Bush Restoration Project. The scope of this project encompasses some 250 acres of property surrounding the landfill, and the intent of the project is to reestablish a native pine bush habitat that will one day make this area of the pine bush a true destination for generations to come. The department also completed a $4.5 million State Street rehabilitation project, which I believe is already proving to be a catalyst program for economic revitalization of this historic Main Street corridor. Additionally, the department completed 55 in-house street reconstruction projects, maintained hundreds of acres of parkland, planted thousands of flowers to beautify streetscapes and neighborhoods throughout the city, and produced stunning special events free of charge with our Office of Special Events that attracted thousands of residents and visitors alike, helping to create a year-round sense of vibrancy in our city. For all of this, we thank our Department of General Services. Thank you. So by now you probably know us. I'm more than just a little proud and grateful to the men and women who day in and day out show such dedication and commitment to our city. Our department heads, directors, their staffs, and in fact our entire workforce do an outstanding job of serving our city, and I'm grateful to each and every one of them for the great work they do. I particularly want to mention the members of my own senior staff, Phil, Chris, and Bob, for the long and hard hours that they put in every day. I also want to say, they do it with smile and patience, except when they come to my office, okay? And professionalism, and I thank them very much. They're part of a great team, and my support staff in my office, the women down there, they answer the phone and listen to every complaint or every possible situation and do it very professionally. They really, really do deserve a round of applause. I'm also grateful to all the volunteers, to the members of this council, and to all involved citizenry for helping us accomplish what we have accomplished in the face of great financial challenges. You'll recall that in preparing for the 2011 budget, we faced a budget shortfall of $23 million, and we were forced to take some painful actions. We reduced departmental expenses across the board. We cut 155 city employees. We sold city property, and we used a significant portion of our fund balance to close the gap. And preparing for a recently adopted 2012 budget, we faced similar financial challenges, coupled with news of significant cuts to federal programs and a state-mandated 2% property tax cap. Yet in the face of all these financial challenges, we continue to provide the highest quality of services to ensure that our citizens enjoy the highest quality of life. And significantly, our city continues to enjoy the highest bond rating in the state outside of New York City. How has this been possible? Quite simply because we managed well and because we worked harder and smarter to get the job done. An example, as you know, our city is one of the oldest water and sewer systems in the country. A significant portion of our water mains were installed in the 19th century, and our Civil War era sewer system is even older. Proper maintenance of systems as old as this is critical in ensuring that they continue to function well into the future. Initiatives that the catalyst are called investment and economic development in nearly every section. Hold on. Oh no, that's right. Continue to function well into the future. And Albany is still one of the only municipalities in the region that uses its own sophisticated high-tech leak detector equipment to find underground leaks. Not only does this program reduce the amount of wasted water, but helps prevent the significant issues and expense that could result from underground mains collapsing. In fact, the department's programs have been praised as a model by the National League of Cities. And in 2011, for the first time in the city's history, our water was selected as one of the 5 best tasting waters in the nation in a competition sponsored by the U.S. Conference of Mayors. For this and for all they do, I want to thank Commissioner Cross and the hardworking men and women of our water department. As we're working smarter and harder to get a job done, that has certainly been the case with our economic development initiatives. Initiatives that have been catalysts for both investment and economic development in nearly every section of our city. As an example, this past summer, Governor Cuomo announced a new statewide economic development initiative and challenged us to think and act regionally. And I attended just about every meeting of that council, and I was all over many counties and saw the positives and the negatives that we have to deal with. And I felt good after I saw some of the situations that some communities were facing and what we're facing. And in response to the governor's challenge, I directed my staff work with the development team at Capitalize Albany Corporation to convene local economic development stakeholders and agencies to build consensus on where economic and business development funding would be most critical and would create the most sustainable regional benefits. Using the feedback from these activities and the recommendations of the Albany 2030 plan, my economic development team developed a local advisory report that helped us secure $13 million in state funding for a number of significant community and economic development projects. We are thankful for this state support and look forward to the next round of Economic Development Council funding, and I'm sure we will be submitting many. Tonight, I especially want to use this opportunity to once again thank Governor Cuomo for his extraordinary leadership, and in particular for his great support he has given our city. I know he is committed to making Albany one of the greatest capital cities in the nation, and we are incredibly grateful to him for that commitment. On a personal level, I want to thank him for his great friendship. We are lucky indeed to have him as our governor, and we wish him well and all of our state leaders great success in moving our state forward. Thank you, Andrew, for your time. Speaking of the best, this past Christmas season, one of the best bands of all time, Chicago, performed at the Palace Theater. Before their performance, they were kind enough to join us for the State Street lighting ceremony. I was on crutches, but I was there. At the event, the band members told the audience how they'd been in Albany several times over the past 20 years and how impressed they were with how much the city has transformed over the years and how beautiful the city looks. That's why they're the best, and of course, they are absolutely correct. Our city has transformed, but we have a lot of work to do. Since I launched Capitalize Albany over 16 years ago, we've seen billions of dollars invested, thousands of new jobs created, and in that time period, Albany has become the leading center of the world of nanotechnology. I believe that in short order, the effects of our development initiatives, as well as the nanotechnology boom, will lead to the long-awaited development of the Harriman campus, and will make Albany a true destination capital city for jobs, and for even greater development, including development of a long-overdue convention center and other development for our New York State capital. I want to thank Jack Mackin, who's on the board of the Convention Center Authority, and the other board members for the hard work, because it's more than just a convention center. It's a catalyst, it's a transformational project. It was recognized for that by the Albany Regional Economic Development Council. Okay, so if you have questions about it, you have to look at the bigger picture. It's something we're going to move forward. This new economic development will mean that our children will not have to move elsewhere to live and to find great employment opportunities, and will bring in even more revitalization to our historic neighborhoods that even now are going through some excitable and remarkable transformations. Just look at the developments taking place in the city's south end. I am pleased to report that since the Capital South Plan was released 4 years ago, and Carolyn was very instrumental in that plan, more than $72 million has been invested, more than 188 new housing units have been developed or are underway. Just this past November, the Albany Housing Authority completed construction on a $10 million South End housing project, and construction is expected to begin in late 2012 on a new $13 million 56-unit housing project. Also during 2011, HUD awarded the city $4.98 million for the construction of the Capital South Campus Center, an exciting new neighborhood college concept for the South End. The Campus Center will be a hub of activities, hosting training, education, and community functions, while incorporating child care and youth programming for the purpose of stabilizing disadvantaged families and positioning them for the employment opportunities of today and tomorrow. The 14,300 square foot facility will contain an industrial kitchen for Meals on Wheels program for culinary arts training, classrooms including one specializing in urban agriculture, offices for intake, assessment and early intervention counseling, a computer lab, drop-in daycare, and a student cafe and lounge. The campus center is part of a larger redevelopment plan for Lincoln Square Homes. Is another example of Albany working harder and smarter to achieve innovative results. And Steve Longo deserves a lot of credit for being out front of that seat. Thank you. Significant transformation is going on as well in our city's Arbor Hill neighborhood, where major public-private ownership projects are making tremendous strides. Just last month, financing closed on a major redevelopment project in North Swan Street that involves an historic 41,000 square foot building that has sat vacant for years, acting as a light on the neighborhood. The project, known as Academy Laws, will offer new life to the community with 21 live workspaces as well as a ground floor dedicated to commercial activity. Also in Arbor Hill, implementation of a $5.1 million neighborhood revitalization plan grant is underway that will fully rehab 9 properties, 33 rental units, and a single-family home that are presently some of the most neglected properties in the neighborhood. I'm looking forward to welcoming new families to these fully restored spaces later this year. We are also very pleased that Albany was awarded $3.2 million in funding through the Governor's Regional Economic Council process for the redevelopment of Ivy Arbor homes. This investment will mean quality of life improvements to an 11.5-acre site that was identified as a priority project in the Arbor Hill Neighborhood Plan. In fact, since the Arbor Hill Neighborhood Plan was released in 2003, over $65 million has been invested in Arbor Hill, with more than 100 new renovated housing units, the construction of a new state-of-the-art public library, as well as significant road infrastructure improvements and small business development. Another significant neighborhood transformation is the one occurring at Park South. This year we celebrated the 5-year anniversary of the adoption of the Park South Urban Renewal Plan. The stunning results of this careful planning effort included more than $500 million in investment in this neighborhood, and that investment is climbing, and you'll see another phase coming down the road very, very soon over there. And Rich Conte, I want to thank Rich and everyone else that have been so closely involved with the renovations of Park South. Additionally, market indicators for the neighborhood show improved rental rates, increased home values, and most importantly, a steady decline in calls for public safety. That was probably one of the major areas in the city with the most calls for public safety that we had before we started this transformation. So I'm making your job easier, Chief, okay? Local homeowners, businesses, and landlords are seeing the Park South neighborhood in a new light, as evidenced by the estimated $20 million in private investments that have made to improve their properties. There is no question, Park South has now become a neighborhood of choice. Another new neighborhood of choice is downtown Albany. That's right, I said downtown. After years of planning and the investment of millions in infrastructure improvements, our downtown can boast of dozens of new residential units on State Street, Pearl Street, Broadway, Sheridan Ave, and other historic streets throughout the downtown areas. These new high-quality apartments and condos have opened in significant part because of the efforts of our Albany IDA, our economic development staff, as well as our strategic partnership with Capitalize Albany and the Downtown Business Improvement District. Tonight we develop a collective and centralized effort to promote living. Together we develop a collective and centralized effort to promote living downtown and to brand the district as a true neighborhood. Today, when you visit downtown, you'll be reminded to look up to see the residential conversions happening in upper floors of buildings throughout the district, and they will continue. The tremendously successful Downtown Living Showcase this past October welcomed hundreds of prospective downtown neighbors, and because of the internet interest shown, I'm very happy to say that new units are continuing to be developed to fill the overwhelming new demand to live in Albany's newest neighborhood of choice. This long-awaited development is a true testament to the value of working harder and working smarter, and to recognizing the value of long-term public planning. In that regard, 2011 marked a historical achievement in the planning for the city of Albany. As you know, after 2 years of work and significant public input, the city's first ever comprehensive plan was presented to the Common Council for consideration and adoption. The plan has already received great local as well as national acclaim, and I am very proud of the result. The comprehensive plan recommends a series of projects, strategies, and actions to be undertaken by the city in pursuit of achieving the future envisioned by more than 2,000 community stakeholders who participated and who provided recommendations to us on the environment, on land use, on the local economy, on transportation, on housing, on future development, and on the social, community, and cultural fabric of our city. I thank the 2,000 people that took time to participate in the many seminars we had here. We could not have done it without you. Albany 2030 is a tangible commitment to robust, inclusive community engagement, and the city is committed to following its guidelines for all aspects of civic life between now and 2030. In fact, our city departments have already begun incorporating Albany 2030 principles into grant funding requests, current city projects, special initiatives, and daily operations. I challenge the Albany community, our citizens, business owners, employees, and visitors to embrace Albany 2030 and to utilize its vision through decisions you make in your daily lives. By utilizing this vision, we can ensure that Albany will be a vibrant, safe, and healthy place for our children and grandchildren who want to live, work, and visit for generations to come. Increasing home ownership is one of the plan's important recommendations. Toward that goal, one of the most successful initiatives of our Economic Development Office was the creation of a new home ownership program called Choose Albany. The response to the program was overwhelming and was very quick. And as a result, 25 applicants have become new homeowners in the city. Choose Albany assisted homeowners in neighborhoods throughout the city, including the South End, Delaware Ave, and Midtown. The purchase prices of the home range from $87,000 to $187,000, for a total of $3.7 million in new home investment. While all the program's funds have been committed, I am so proud of its success, I am determined to add additional funds in 2012. I said it since 1994, we stabilize our neighborhoods through home ownership, with home to people that care, and we won't have to worry about many of the issues that we're confronted with on a daily basis. So we're going to continue that program. We're going to find more money for it, aren't we, Mike? Okay. All of our efforts in development planning have been accomplished with a constant eye on the city's future. My administration has been progressive in adopting policies, including policies for sustainable development and energy efficiency. This is a major reason why I established the Office of Energy and Sustainability, to work with other municipal departments and the community at large to design and implement programs that will reduce energy use and associated costs and move our city forward on its commitment and reputation for becoming a sustainable community. During 2011, the office engaged a community advisory committee to assist with the identification and prioritization of effective climate action strategies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from the community at large. The result of this effort was the city's first community-wide climate action plan that was incorporated into Albany 2030. For their effective development and planning efforts and for helping lead us into a new era of growth and opportunity, we thank Commissioner Mike Gerald and Megan and Doug and his economic development and planning staff, as well as all the folks at the Albany Community Development Agency, Betty Andrews, Albany IDA, Capitalize Albany, and of course the Housing Authority with Steve Longo. You certainly have all made a difference in improving our city's quality of life, and you've helped us chart a path for future development. Thank you for working together. Albany, like many, is my time? Albany, like many cities around the world, has recognized that to become a smarter city, one that provides a level of service citizens expect while operating with maximum efficiency, we must use information and technology in new and innovative ways. Whether through community building efforts or attention to internal efficiencies, new capabilities to capture, manage, and use information must be created. I'm sure you've all often wondered whether there are ways that Albany can better use the cloud to be more responsive to providing data and other information to our citizens. The cloud, of course, is just one of the information technology opportunities for us to study, to explore, and delivering programs and services. It is an opportunity cities are just beginning to pay attention to, and Albany has already invested in a number of specific efforts to understand what kinds of capabilities are most needed to operate at this new level. Recent performance management audits have made recommendations about the foundational policy management technology changes that must be made if our cities become a more technologically advanced, smarter city. The report calls for many significant upgrades to the city's internal operating environment, including development of new citywide records management policies and procedures, new procedures for key business processes such as code enforcement, and new technology. They also recommend several major technology infrastructure initiatives and related hires, including hiring a chief information officer. What is currently missing, however, is a roadmap for city officials that links the recommended investments in policy, management, and technology capabilities to the city's policy and program priorities. Such a document will lay out these priorities as well as a plan of work to ensure that any investments made provide the foundation for Albany to become a smarter city technologically. I want all our departments contributing to this and all part of this new plan that we're putting together, and I appreciate everyone cooperating. So tonight, I am pleased to announce a new collaboration with the Center for Technology and Government and the College of Computing and Information at the University of Albany. These two leading institutions will work over the next year with officials from the City of Albany to create a comprehensive roadmap that will outline the set of strategic and tactical steps necessary to meet Albany's short and midterm goals, as well as those of the Albany 2030 plan. With this roadmap, Albany will be on its way in using technology as a means to be more in touch with and more responsive to the citizens and to bring a truly smarter city. I want to thank CTG and SUNY for partnering with us on this exciting venture, and we look forward to the recommendations. And I'm not giving them a year, okay? The last department I will report on tonight is perhaps the one closest to my heart. It is, of course, the department most directly focused on delivering programs and services to our youngest residents, our Department of Youth and Workforce Services and Recreation. Under Commissioner John D'Antonio's leadership, the department has continued to provide creative, innovative, and life-changing programs to the young residents of our city. Summer employment programs, teen centers, swimming, skating, boxing, karate, and fitness programs have all provided healthy, constructive, and wonderfully productive activities that have enriched the lives of thousands of children and young adults, keeping many of them out of harm's way, and providing them with guidance that has, without question, changed and improved their lives. Without these programs, think what their lives might truly be. There is no question that these programs have strengthened families, neighborhoods, and our city as a whole. And there's no question that the department is a model for working in partnership with diverse segments of the community, all in an effort to enrich and further develop the lives of our young people. As an example, our truancy abatement program, in its seventh year under Sal Villaway, hired for 1 year back 7 years ago, but he's done an excellent job, is a multi-agency and family-centered program designed to combat truancy and reduce juvenile crime rates. The program has had a dramatic impact on reducing truancy in our schools and continues to be an award-winning national model. I hear about this program from mayors all across the state and across this country, and they want to know how we're doing it. Because when you think about truancy, you think about the schools. Okay, but the schools have their own, they're dealing with issues of attendance and things, but we outside of those schools aren't part of the solution to the problem. We're never going to solve the problem. So we have to continue to work together. And Superintendent Ray Cucciello has been very, very cooperative in the school district with us growing this program and continuing to make sure that kids get it, that we want them in school. Similarly, the Youth Service Navigation System is an innovative program designed to create a universal access point for all young people in the city and county to guide them toward becoming more self-sufficient in the community, to show them how to gain the skills they need. All of these programs, including our Albany Online Digital Literacy Program, our gang prevention program, our Youth Build program, and our After School Zone program, and our many sports and recreation programs have dramatically affected and improved the lives of our most vulnerable residents. We are fortunate to have all the dedicated staff and volunteers who make these programs national models. For what you have done to improve the quality of life of our children in our city, we thank you. Thank you very much, John, and everyone else that works there. We have a working group now that's working on how do we expand our summer youth employment program so it's just not the summer, how it encompasses the lives of these young people throughout the year from January to January. And you'll see some nice initiatives coming out of that group, I know that for sure. I've used the term building a smarter city strategically tonight, not only to illustrate that we had to think creatively, often outside of the proverbial box, in order to deliver high-quality services to our citizens, but because I believe Albany can use the concept of a smarter city to become a model environment for the young members of our community. We have all the ingredients to give our kids, our children, the benefit of living in a smart community, a community that can help them thrive in the 21st century world. We have a highly educated citizenry. We have some of the finest institutions of higher learning in the country. We have cutting-edge industries and technologies, and we have a supportive citizenry. We need to put all of these ingredients to work for our young residents together. We need to advance our efforts and to continue to work together for our young people, and I'm asking everyone to really participate and make this a priority. But let's begin by having schools worthy of our children. That is why I propose a new high school for the city, a place where these great institutions like SUNY Albany, the College of St. Rose, the colleges and schools at University Heights, the Center for Technology and Government, Albany Nanotech and their partners such as IBM, International Semitech, Tokyo Electron, Sony, AMD, among many others, can come together and bring their expertise to a learning environment dedicated to the pursuit of excellence for our children. There is no reason that the jobs that these companies are creating shouldn't go to our kids. There is no reason. But it is our responsibility to train our kids appropriately. Just imagine with that kind of investment of those companies, we could have one of the finest high schools in the world. That would somebody up. Imagine what that would mean for our children. Imagine what that would mean for our city. Imagine what that would mean for our state. SUNY Chancellor Nancy Zimpher spoke the other day and talked about how SUNY system spends $72 million a year on remediation for students that go into junior colleges. $72 million. My feeling is that junior colleges should be in our high school, so we'll talk about that later. But really, I mean, that is an amazing number, which means our kids aren't properly prepared to proceed. So how do we collectively get together and make sure that we put the finest product out for our kids? I'll tell you how we do it. It's a very lofty goal, but it's a goal worthy of our great capital city. So tonight, I am pleased to announce that President Mark Sullivan and President George Phillip from SUNY have agreed to chair a committee focused on exploring the creation of such a school. You gentlemen,